Well, after a slightly less than perfect start to this evening's stream, we are now hopefully live with the fearsome formentor. I'm Riley Harvey for VCN, and this is the Thursday night PRT handicap race. We are live, as you've probably noticed from that early issues, and we are following the race now on the new Wahoo RGT platform, newly branded, should we say. It's not incredibly changed on the formentor course, which is one of the most popular of the races courses on the RGT real roads. Rode it myself a number of times, and I've rode it in real life, fortunately. We can see here we've got a number of riders up the road. Desolt there, and Tezaf, Hammond, Jordan Twiddy is up in this lead group here. We've got a couple of riders who have flown off up the road. We're just going to jump on. We've got Hubel and we've got Mark leading the charge there. So we're running a handicap race this evening. So the handicap race is run with the basis of a 3.2 normalized power for the riders, which means that the riders who've got higher FTPs carry a weight penalty, which really affects them on the slopes, and the riders with a lower FTP, they gain, well, they lose weight, sorry, low riders with lower FTP. So effectively it means that the riders who are not quite as capable have more of an opportunity to attack on the climbs. I'm looking at the powers for a number of the riders at the front of this race at the moment, and it looks like some of these riders have not adjusted their powers to meet the handicap requirements of the race. We've got Hubel here, Mark, Miro and Toffoli there, looking like they're not. They've got Desolt. I would say Desolt is a regular rider of the PRT, and I think that they are potentially the first rider that's hitting the handicap. It is possible to ride over your handicap, the 3.2 watt per kilogram. We all got different powers for out of the saddle efforts, etc. You shouldn't be able to do that and not go into the red zone, really, which is what these riders have been able to do. They're up in the green section, up at 5-odd watts per kilogram. So we're going to drop down and have a look at some of these other riders who suspect are more accurately following the protocol for the handicap race. We've got Toffoli there, who's just tailing off a little bit. Pazev. Then we've got Hammond, Wayne, RT rider, Desolt, who rides under a nickname. I think it's Mauro Brescani is the rider's particular name. Then we've got MMF, and up in this group I think we've got Guy Hepner just floating about there somewhere as well. Or Guy's just a little bit further back. We've got Healy and Guy Hepner here in this chasing group. And then we have Penn, Chiriev, Smith, Anton Wouters, Tucson, and Jordan Twiddy, who flew off the start line this evening. He's now back in 17th position. And then Elaine Hume, 18th. Just a little bit further back, we've got Ollie Perkins, just being overtaken there by Taroni. Hey Hawk, Darren Ray, and The Bomb, Craig, Adams, Cook, kept company with Barry Wilson there, and Carcool, Venancio, We have our entourage of bots. Checking through to see if there's any other riders here. Big grouping of bots. We've got Victor keeping place with the bots there. Jackson, I think. Oh, Cheeseman. And Gilbert. I think that's Joe Gilbert there. So fly back up to the front of the race. So we've got Jubal, Mark, Miro, and Toffoli there in a battle with themselves. Fairly confident that they're outside of the handicap. Results there. Leading the charge, chasing riders. Cat Formentor. 2 climbs to this race. The initial climb to the lookout point, and then good descent for a second climb, further descent, and then an uphill finish to the lighthouse. I've been told this evening that you're not able to currently go to the lighthouse on the real road. It's been blocked out 3 kilometers away from the lighthouse finish. And no, they've been restricting the access of cars there for some time, but I believe that now actually blocked to everybody. Hammond there, and Tazev, Wayne just keeping pace. Wayne taking up the attack here. Tazev a little bit further back, and Guy Hepner on the front of this chasing group there. Miro a little bit further up the road there, 1.5 kilometers away from this chase group, so I think we confidently assume that they've made a mistake with their waiting for this race. Hopefully they will be able to sort that out for the next event that they take part in. So as I said earlier on the stream, just to refresh everybody's memory, it's a weight normalized race. So the idea is that you take a recent FTP, divide that FTP by 3.2, and that will give you your weight in kilograms that you enter for this event. It's one of the only events that you can change your weight in, and it's allowed. Happily reduce it for this event. See, we've just gone past the lookout point there. We got Tazev, Wayne, Guy Hepner, Toffoli now descending rapidly into these hairpins. And we're on board with Guy Hepner at the moment. You can see as we're going into these hairpins, the power number in the top left hand corner turns red, and that means that they're wasting any efforts if they add them in there, because the system is breaking them so hard around those hairpins that if they were to apply any power, it just gets scrubbed away. They're descending as a group now, these guys getting up some real speed, up at 61 kilometers an hour to 65 momentarily there. And we've got Hammond there just shortly behind, trying to descend solo and catch up with these riders, but it's really difficult to catch up with a group descending together. These riders powering on. All my devices are going a bit crazy this evening as we've had a little bit of a false start to the event. Shrek's managed to tune in live. There's a great group there. It's a strong group that's going off at the front here. And they're descending well together. Hammond's making it back in, it would appear. This little bit of reduction in gradient. Not giving up fighting, that's for sure. Hammond pushing hard out of every single corner there to try and group with these guys. Some of the more observant of you would have noticed that the new branding has been applied to a lot of these courses, the Wahoo branding mixed with the RGT branding. A little bit of a stir caused. Anyone listening to the latest Zwiftcast, or the last Zwiftcast actually, Simon Schofield's retiring from that. I believe he's got some health issues which make it difficult to concentrate on audio for long periods. So that's the last Zwiftcast, and it was all about, well, mostly about Wahoo RGT and what the guys over there at Zwiftcast think is going to be happening over at Zwift in response to the Wahoo takeover, absorption of RGT. As we see there, Hammond, having come back from being dropped on this group, is now made a little bit of a break. We're coming underneath the halfway marker, and Hammond's gone off the front, dropped all these guys now after fighting so hard on that descent. Catch back in. See, there's another rider there. It's Tazev, I think, who's just set off there to try and reel him back in. We come past a little turning here for the beach at Cap Formentor. We head towards the base. This is the second climb now that we're starting. Second climb, in my opinion, much more difficult than the first one. In the first one, whilst it is a challenging climb, it's got a fairly steady gradient. You can find your tempo and you can work to it. You can find your max effort quite easily and just carry on. On this second climb, there's really rapidly changing gradients and very difficult to get yourself into a tempo. Constantly having to change gear and work to keep yourself at the right pace. As Hammond there is struggling. He's gone off the front, been recovered by the group and dropped out the back, and seems to be having to put in little sprint efforts to get himself back into the group there. Wayne setting a good tempo in this section and leading this group. As I say, a little bit difficult to say for definite, but I think Wayne is the leader on the road. I suspect that the other riders in front of Wayne are going to be disqualified. Wayne, Desault and Hepner being chased by Tazev. Wayne just puts in a little bit of an effort there and stretches out this front group and makes it a little bit difficult for the riders that he's going with. So just to give you a bit of an idea of the level of penalty that these riders are going with, Guy is usually carrying somewhere around about 20 kilograms of extra weight. That's not getting far off a full sack of potatoes, the jumbo bag of potatoes that you get from the farmer's market, not the little ones that you buy in Tesco's, the huge bags of potatoes. And that, you're going out doing a full race effort, carrying that sort of additional weight, it does create some challenges for you, which is why a lot of the riders enjoy this event and come back to it time and time again, because it does create a challenge for those riders. They're not just flying off the front in an average race, and keeps all the field quite tightly together as well, and makes it an interesting race for everybody. See MF there just coming back up and overtaking Guy, and Tazev coming back into the group as well. But Wayne is off the front there, making good pace. We're going to drop down a little bit. We do like to cover all of the riders in the race, not just the lead group. So we've got Taroni here. It does look like we've got quite a few new names in the event as well, which is nice to see. And no doubt they're coming over from the system software. Wahoo, I think about 6 to 8 months ago, bought Sufferfest, and they've bolstered that product with the RGT virtual cycling app. So you've got system for the more structured training. The more it was Sufferfest was more of the typical sort of following the bar graph, and then you've got RGT for a little bit more virtual racing, and you can go on a pack and have a little bit of fun. Make your training work for you. As we see the bomb here in 12th position, Healy, and then we've Penn a little bit further down the course, not too far away from those guys though. Hume having a good race tonight. They're in their red effort, red power bar. So I mentioned power bars. Underneath the riders' names there is a bar which turns various shades of colours from blue through to a bright red. It's based upon Coggins training zones. I think there's 7 zones of training. The paler blues are recovery, active recovery, and then you've got things like tempo, exertion, and yeah, I can't remember the names of them properly. We'll get those up on the screen next time around. Hume's being chased by Toussaint, and then we've Smith, and then there's Craig, Paku, Shirliev, Ollie Perkins being closed down by Cook there. Jordan Twiddy, explosive in the first section of this race. So possibly some of you guys missed it while I was trying to reset my software. Jordan Twitty is 23rd position there. Adams. Anton Wouters. K-Hawk. Not too far away from Anton's wheel there. It's Darren Ray in 27th position. Then we have Venancio and Victor closing in on Darren. And then we have a number of pace bots. Barry Wilson. And then Cheeseman there. Further back down the road. We've got Gilbert. I head back up to the front of the race. I got Hubel, who is up far and away. Do this race at the moment, coming up to the tunnel section. Chased by Mark. And with Miro. And then just shortly behind there we've got MF, and Toffoli has now been caught. MF. And then we've Wayne catching this group as well. Like MF is gonna catch up to Miro. Miro's definitely dropped the pace from where they were at the beginning. Wayne and Toffoli off the front of this race at the moment. Miro coming back. Next rider on the road there, I think, is Hammond. Distance once again. Epner just shortly behind him. Miro seeming to have recovered some of his earlier form. Say, looking at the power bar underneath Miro's name and the watts per kilogram that he's putting out, I think that it's likely he's not adjusted his weight, or I believe as Toffoli either. But Will does go through the results after the events and checks through to see that fair play has been achieved. Going into the tunnel now. Tunnel always catches me out in real life. Going through here from the bright sunshine with sunglasses on. Very disorientating going into this very dark tunnel, and there is a number of times when I've been drifting across the road towards the wall. As Miro has flown off the front there, Toffoli takes the lead from Wayne and goes off chasing Miro. Wayne riding a nice solid race this evening. Hammond just coming through that tunnel. ...106-meter gap to Wayne at the moment, which is a big gap. And the bomb's closing in on Hammond there, and in a big effort at the moment. The bomb makes the catch with Hammond. Moves up into 6th place. Continues chasing after Wayne. See Wayne on that distant hairpin there going up. Hammond eager to keep the wheel of bomb there. He's saving 70-80 watts around them, that segment banner. Still saving 72 watts, even though we're going up a steep gradient now. This section at 5%. Jump forward to see how Wayne's getting on. Wayne in a deep effort here. Just coming out of that aggressive slope. Some chatting ride there. Darren's having issues, like his weight's possibly reset. Wayne's coming up on the final descending sections. And Maria Christina is just asking which course this is. This is the Cap Formentor course in RGT. It's one of the real roads. I don't believe it's available on the free at the moment. At the moment, I think the free options are Borrego and Leuven. Bomb has managed to pass Wayne. Wayne's not going to make it easy for the Bomb now, as we've got 2.6 kilometers remaining in this race. Wayne and the Bomb there, locked in battle. Wayne comes around the Bomb and opens up. Small lead, 18 meters. Up the incline, we're going onto a flatter section now. Foley's once again back in sight. Now slightly descending, 1%, 1.3%. corner. It's one of the moments where you feel like you might just fly off into the sea. Bomb now distanced by 30 meters, but I think Wayne's got his sights set onto Foley. Bomb sprints past. All to play for. The 1 kilometer marker, we're just going under there. Down into a final long sweeping right-hander. Then beginning the climb. Final climb full of hairpins up to the lighthouse itself. The bomb once again distanced, but he covered that in moments a second ago. And he comes back strongly, using the inertia from that descent to try and close the gap to Wayne, but Wayne pushes on around the first hairpin. Chasing to Foley. Wayne in that bright red, that neuromuscular moment as Foley pushes on once again. 100 meters left to go. Foley officially in 4th position, but where with the race controller afterwards as Foley goes over the line. Then Wayne, closely followed by the bomb, who's being chased by Hammond. Roney, 76 meters over MF. MF just going around that hairpin. .50 meters remaining. Roney comes over the line. MF. Final efforts. Our bar's going red. At 420 watts. Azev. Tenth position. I'm 47 minutes. Result. 11th position. Ely. World's position. And we're over in 13th. Parko. 14th. Bray coming over in 15th. And Ollie Perkins putting in a great effort here. 16th position. Being chased here by Elaine Hume, really putting in a big effort trying to reel Ollie back in, and I think going to manage it. Ollie just comes up with 100 meters left to go. It's a battle, but Elaine seems to have just managed their efforts a bit better. They come over the line in 16th position and just nip that place from Ollie. Oh, that must be punishing that. So close to the finish line. We've got Smith and Jordan Twitty here. Jordan flew off the front at the beginning of this race. Perhaps a little too exuberant. 250 meters left to go. Smith slowing. Twitty comes past Smith there. Continues powering on. Smith respond before the finish with 150 meters left to go. Smith's power appears to be waning. Twitty able to maintain the gap. Smith opens up with the sprint. Is it too little too late? Twitty manages to maintain 18th position to the finish line. Smith comes through in 19th. Fucking 20th. Now Shiriev. 21st position. Tucson in 22nd. Saying Elaine Hume, it's Ed Hume. My apologies. remember that one for next week. As Tucson comes over in 22nd. Adams in 23rd. Hock, 24th position. Watts, Victor there in 28th position. Managing to blow away one of the bots there, recover a place. Bots finishing. Barry Wilson. And Barry being chased there by Venancio. Whether Barry will be able to maintain his position to the finish line. Barry comes through in 34th position there. Venancio just a little bit too late with the attack. Cheeseman. At these final hairpins. Yeah, 39th. Anton Wouters over the line at a time of 55 minutes. And Darren Ray blasting his way like a rocket. His last hairpin. Darren was mentioning earlier on in the race that he felt his weight was a little bit off. Perhaps it had got reset during the race. Interested to find out whether there was any issues. Just the legs that had let him down. I see Guy. Oh no, Guy's been dropped out of the race. A little bit, 2.4 kilometers remaining. I just finding out from the chats that Guy had a technical issue with the program. It wouldn't let him rejoin with a mile to go. Harry Wilson's also had a little bit of a connection issue this evening. That's why he was further down the field than I probably would have expected him to be. Gilbert comes the last section of climbing before we approach the lighthouse. And Darren's just mentioning that he's definitely was having issues with his weight for some reason. It appeared not working as per usual. Gilbert enjoying this descending section. Comes around left-hander, sweeping right, and then approaches these final sections. Hairpins on the approach. Famous lighthouse. Gilbert coming up now on the finish line. 123 metres remaining. So yeah, Darren's just saying they'd gone back into his account and he changed his weight for the handicap event, but gone into the event and it seems to have changed it back automatically to his standard weight. So that's unusual, and hopefully one-off. That's going to definitely affect how you can achieve. You can compete in one of these handicap events. I'm sure it's just a one-off and it'll be resolved shortly. I think that's going to bring us to the end of our event this evening, ladies and gentlemen. That's Gilbert has just gone over the finish line, and Gilbert is the last live rider on the course. Really hope you've enjoyed watching the stream with me tonight. Been Riley Harvey for BCN. This has been the PRT handicap event. Happens every Thursday at 7 p.m. and we hope you'll race next time. Take care.